Hey everyone, happy Thursday, right? Cool. Taliara, let me just get settled in. Maliara tara chidontoriaro toro. Yeah, thank you. So we had a request in the chat for some hand healing, right? So that's how that works. We just say a thing, do a thing when we can. The chat's going to get really busy here, so please don't blow the chat up with things just yet. How's everyone doing today? Getting closer to that Valentine's Day for some of us, right? So we'll give just a few more moments. Hi, my Instagram friends. Doing my best to pay attention to you guys, but I'm in the YouTube live, which totally takes over my screen. So I don't mean to definitely ignore my Instagram buddies. So, but thank you for joining. Taliari shira tarioro to mayao. Then memelero tarioro shao kalero tora te kalema ki kineshalia. What a great day. I say it's a great day, not only for the energy, but it's warm outside in Florida. This is important to me. All right. So today's live, right? We didn't really have a theme intentionally, right? We just wanted to kind of open it up, go through some things, right? Nothing formal. You know, when we do our lives going forward, we'll have some better themes for these. And as a side note, there will not be a YouTube live next Thursday this time because I will be at the LA Conscious Life Expo, booth 155. So if you guys are in the area, you need to stop by and see me. I am doing free healings, but you don't get the whole works. What I mean by that, stop by. I'll do something for you, right? But there is a catch. You have to sign up for the newsletter. But if you're already on YouTube Live, you probably already have the newsletter. That's the only catch, right? Maybe take a picture with me. That'd be fun. But I'll be there till the post conference on Monday. The conference itself was originally designed for me to introduce to you guys the Library of Creation. We're going to do just a little bit of that, but instead, I'm going to show up and do the things that I do for everyone, right? The experiences, the healing, the activations, the connections, right? And I'll talk about the library. And ultimately, for you guys, just to give you an understanding, the Library of Creation is a way for you to access the same thing that I access to heal yourself. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. All right. So on the website, under events, you're going to see, I think it's on March 5th. Sorry if I get the dates wrong, but there's a free masterclass for the Library of Creation. Listen, it's free. You know, join the live masterclass, and I'll take you through what it's like, how it works, right? And then we'll talk about, you know, all the training and everything that comes after that. But hey, you know, sign up. You're here for free. Go there for free. I like free. Okay. Everyone's doing good, right? So again, I just wanted to open up this space today, right? And then just drop anything in the chat as well. I've got the team. Give me a second here. Just got to do this thing. The team monitoring the chat. They're helping me go through because I know it's going to get busy and busy and busier, right? As these lives get a little bit more out there of awareness. So again, you know, things are moving fast, right? Some people are calling this the fire horse energy, which I asked my team, I'm like, do you mean fire hose? They're like, no, fire horse. Like a whole new level of energy is coming in. And, you know, the momentum's high and really life isn't waiting for everyone. Things are happening fast. I will tell you this. I did my event last night. I do events every Wednesday, right? 8 p.m. Eastern. They're $44, right? You drop in, you'll spend about an hour with me. And it was my 5D chakra event. And I'll be honest with you, when I was looking at what I was going to do, I'm like, oh, this is just going to be a thing, right? Just the chakras, you know, those are all the way from the stellar systems, all the way down to the Earth star and your toroidal field and all these things. I'm like, oh, that's going to be okay. Wow. Oh my God. So the amount of intensity and energy that came through that event last night was by far one of the strongest that I've ever experienced myself. And I know that I actually tapped out several times as the great divine director was coming through with his energy, right? Now he's not showing up channeling yet, but his energy is flowing through my body. My body is still lit up energetically, right? To do, but it's, sorry, I was in the chat room. My body is energetically lit up. It's literally like being plugged into an electrical outlet all the time. And when I get ready to do massive shifts, they ramp that up. And the LA Conscious Life Expo is the presentation energetically of this next well, call it version of me, right? So again, the event last night was kind of them helping me acclimate to what's coming through through this vessel. So again, it was massive. I just want to share that with you. If you guys really like to have activations and attunements, they lit up everyone's communication channel, information channel, all the way to the oversoul, the higher self, right? Source, if you will, if that's who you're connected to, and all the way down with the grounding. I mean, it was phenomenal. Okay. You know, I know with some of these folks that I do work with on a more closer scale, their energies are off the hook too. Like they are processing so much, you know, their body, their nervous systems themselves, right, is kind of out of tweak, out of balance, right? You know, they're finding their emotions just coming up and purging, you know, without a lot of notice or warning. They're like, I'm not sure how I feel grumpy. Yeah, they got, you know, they got to purge and cry. And then it comes out, you know, this isn't me. This really is. So by the way, real quick, guys, is my connection good? I've got Instagram here telling me the connection might be a little off. I just want to make sure other people on Instagram are doing okay with the connection. Okay. So, you know, when you go through these shifts, things can get a little bit bumpy before they smooth out. The same thing happens with me. Seriously, you know, I go through shifts every 3 months or so, and life gets a little miserable for me. I'll find myself in these emotional states where I'm just grumpy, not at the world, with my team, right? And they get a little quiet on me, right? So they're like, we don't talk to you when you're going through these shifts, and they don't give me details of what's taking place because they simply tell me the more I know, the more I go down that rabbit hole, and I wouldn't allow things just to flow, which really is the message for you guys, right? Why the world, your reality looks kind of bumpy during times of shift. Recognize that's just the energy and your reality shifting and changing. Go with the flow. Right? Don't think you're a bad person. Don't think you've done bad things. Don't think the world hates you. Remove those stories, right? And just recognize these are shifts. You know, especially if you're doing your work. Doing your work is defined differently by everyone, right? Your shadow work, your breath work, you know, your plant medicine work, whatever it is, your thing to grow that spiritual body inside of you. It's going to be a little bumpy. Now, at the collective realm, yes. The collective is shifting rapidly. You know, they're showing me everything is being accelerated, right? So, okay. And again, right, what I'm seeing really isn't confusion on my side. Right? And most people I work with are actually very clear. They may not know exactly what's going on, but they know that there's these shifts happening, right? They know things are changing. They kind of know what needs to be done. Even for me, like my team's like, Ken, you need to go move the body, right? Which meant a lot of yoga, a lot of breath work, moving the energy centers in the body, right? That was what my team told me to do. And you may not get the actual, you know, phone call from your team saying to do this, but you got to tune into that intuition. You know, what do you need? Is it your diet, right? Is it your community? What are these things? So tune into what you need, right? So yeah. Does that land for everyone? And I'm going to turn my eyes over here to this chat that's just getting pretty wild, which I love. Hi everyone. So much going on over here. Okay. So you know, core idea, right? So when this happens, even small things can feel harder than they should, right? Like sometimes getting out of bed is like a chore, and it's not a depression thing, right? It's just the energy is just like, I feel like I need to sleep another 2 hours, whatever these things are, right? Your body is just shifting and acclimating. And we're actually going to work on that a little bit for you today. So yeah, again, drop a short sentence in there. I know you guys are blowing up the chats, and I appreciate all of you. Okay. So instead of really talking about it like I just did, I want to do something about it, right? Now, there's no effort on your end. You're nothing to do, right? You just get to notice what you notice. But the business team has put in a couple of channeling questions, right? So I'm going to drop in some channeling, right? And then we're going to go into some activations for you here. Okay. So the question, what do we want to do? What are we going to channel? So please orientate us to where humanity actually is right now. not where we think it are, not where we think we are, and not where we're headed, but where we are. So basically, beyond the headlines, your beliefs, or your personal opinions, right? Not what we hope is happening, what's actually happening. What do you guys think is actually happening? It's the ascension process itself. There's been an amplification of all the energies across the planet in every modality, every form, and every frequency. There's been a complete shift, if you will, in the intensity that's taking place. Where is humanity right now? Humanity is at the next staircase, if you will. And he defines that as a staircase of evolution, a staircase of process, a staircase of ascension. You have literally just shifted to the next one. And stabilization is what's trying to take place right now. Now, many of you are unable to understand this, and all you see is the turmoil that he mentioned before, but that is not the case at all. You're going to find yourself questioning a little bit more about who you are or what you are in that deep inner sense. A lot of your focus is going to shift from the outside reality that you're experiencing. We will say that reality is chosen, whether the be or news, the politics, the ETs, and so on and so forth. You're going to find yourself shifting to what's happening inside of you. And this is critical because the things that are happening outside of you cannot help you with the things that are happening inside of you. You have to work on the inner you before the outer shows up. And this is the pull that's going to be happening. And you're going to do it whether you like it or not. And we don't mean that in a pushy way. We simply mean that the energy, the intensity, the compulsion, that's the word, the desire to understand what's happening inside of you will not be something you can ignore. It'll show up differently for every one of you in a way that you resonate with. It'll begin growing you. At the same time, yes, it'll make that road just a little bumpy in energy, because as you begin growing, you begin shedding those things that no longer serve you as a natural process of elevating into your own personal ascension timelines. So this is what's happening right now at the collective. The energy is amplified at the individual human level, at the collective level, because now is the time. And yes, we're going to say now is the time for the next so many years, because every single day, every single moment, now is the time. More and more and more. It will get a little easier, and then it'll get a little harder, and get a little blissful. And then you'll be like, oh, there's more to do. This is part of the ascension, my friends. Okay, so that was the first channel. And go ahead and just drop in the chat, right? If that resonated with you, if that didn't resonate with you. I mean, right, it's free speech, but don't blow me up. Things are shifting. I feel it in my body. You know, as the collective, as the ascension happens, again, ascension, in my opinion, my viewpoint, the team's viewpoint, is an elevation of frequency, right? Elevation of frequency of the human vessel, the human collective, the human reality. And as we do this, the reality, the collective, everything shifts and changes to these new frequencies, right? And this is why our world feels like it's being disrupted, not only from the viewpoint of what's happening in the news or fill in the blank, but also our inner world is shifting and changing. This is part of the ascension. The ups and downs will go through cycles, right? I typically see them for 3 months, but it really depends on how much work you're doing. And it was a question I'm sorry, I apologize. The question was, how long do these ups and downs go on for? It's very intense. It's going to depend on who you are and what you're doing, right? Are you actively doing your shadow work? Are you getting up every day and doing your own process, but your meditation, your yoga, your breath work, your plant medicine, your connection to your team? Are you actively seeking other activations and other practitioners to help you? If you're in it to win it, we're all going to win. Don't get me wrong. But if you're in it to make it happen as fast as possible, then yes, the intensity is going to be much more, stronger, a lot stronger, right? Because you're shifting so much energy in your field. You're bringing in those new versions of you without hesitation. And for other of us, we're kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting to see what's happening with the game. You're still going to get impacted, right? And that'll drag out longer. And for those of you that are waiting on the sidelines, there's going to be more confusion for you. Like, why did that relationship go away? Why did that job go away, right? Why is that new one showing up? And so on and so forth. Okay. Super cool. Just let's go ahead and ground you guys real quick here. Then we'll do some more channeling. Nothing you need to do. Bubble everyone, please. Thank you. Ground them. Just calm all that down. All right. So this next question that the team asked me to channel, again, the business team, is, what is currently distorting human perception the most in this phase? Not emotionally, but structurally. There is an intensification of information. We'll simply say that the sensory inputs of the information being fed into the human collective at various levels is intensifying, again, to shift the frequencies away from the ascension and more into the despair, if you will. My gosh, the world's never going to be healed. My gosh, we're never going to stop going to this particular war, this particular politics, or this particular issue, or that particular issue. More and more that is intensifying, right? There is a stranglehold that's being lost by those that are creating the distortions in your field. When that happens, they amplify everything. And you guys have seen this many, many times over the years, right? More and more and more. But at this particular time, they have really ratcheted it up. What else can we do to distort the human perception of life really is good and can be good? So this is what's happening for the human. There's too much sensory information in overload, if you will. What do you believe? What don't you believe? And how come I'm hearing the story 12 different perceptions and angles across 12 different channels from 12 different channelers, if you will, let alone the different media channels that are talking about this, that, or the other? None of them have a truth that aligns to you, but their goal is to create the perception of truth on you, which distorts your own belief system. It messes with your discernment field in very, very deep ways. It creates a static in there that makes it even harder for you to discern the truth that you believe. And everybody's truth is different. But the truth is already inside of you for everything. You need zero external stimuli to know what's happening in the world, what's happening to you. So if you want to clear those distortions, you'll have to move them out of your field. You have to take that step to turn it off, move it away. And those individuals in your life that constantly feed you a narrative that doesn't align with your discernment filter, you also need to push them away. Now, we're not saying you need to. We're simply saying if you want this discernment filter to grow, if you want to know your own truth on anything, you have to remove the distortions that are, we're going to use this word, it sounds strong, but manipulating your energetic field. So what you believe to be true is actually not in alignment with your soul, with your deep inner knowing. Work has to be done, but it has to be done by you. Okay. So let's see if we got some questions here in the chat. Give me a second, grab some water. Hi, Instagram friends. Sorry. Again, everything's here on YouTube Live. Okay. Mariarica, yeah, I hear that too. It's confusing, right? It really is confusing, all the information out there. Now, personally, I haven't actually turned on the news 7 years. 7 years, right? The only time I actually know something, hi, Paula. The only time I actually know something is when my family will tell me something. And I'm like, I don't need any details. Wonderful. Moving on. So no news. I don't do sports either, right? Even the music that I listen to, I'm able to tune out the programming in the words, right? And pick and choose what I resonate with, so that my discernment doesn't get skewed. Because the last thing I want to do is show up in front of you with an opinion, my opinion, right? I'm okay with my observations and allow you to make your own perceptual truth from it. But the last thing I want to do is shift and change you in a way that doesn't resonate with you. So, okay, give me a second here. Oh, my screen's blowing up over here. All right. I've got a question from someone here. So if you've attended anything I've done, any of my events, any of my recordings, right? There's a process where I will have you grow tree roots from your heart, down your torso, down your knees, and out your legs into Mother Earth, and you grow it down, and then you'll see the core of the earth. And you'll take those tree roots and you'll wrap them 3 times counterclockwise, right? Now, the question is, why counterclockwise, right? Well, ultimately, the reasoning is the way again, my perception, my truth for my team. Everyone may have a different teaching and belief system. I'm not here to change that, right? But the answering the question and the idea that the counterclockwise is the release. the release of the distortions, right? So the energy coming down out of the body, grounding you, is releasing into the core to be repurposed, if you will. The Mother Gaia itself is absorbing that negative energy. Negative simply is defined as a lower vibrational field, which is the healing taking place. So, so one of the kind of core questions here is, how do we step into spiritual mission in these times? You kind of are right now, aren't you? Right? So many people ask me, what is my mission? Well, you're the mission, first and foremost, right? Everybody, not everybody, because so many people want to show up to heal the world. Healing is just a word I use. Heal the world in their own way, right? With their gifts, right? And that's beautiful. But you got to start with yourself. Your mission number one is always you, right? Take care of the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. And when you do that, your gifts will come online, right? Just as a natural byproduct, right? Once you clear those blockages, your belief systems. I spent 3 years struggling with the words confidence, right? Couldn't get confidence in what I was doing. Even though I seen it in everything I did, I still didn't have confidence I could actually do it every single time. So work on yourself. And once you get through those barriers, your gifts will show up, right? And again, your gifts, your spiritual mission, right? That's how you access it. Clean all the distortions out of your field and it comes online. Okay. Super, super cool. All right, so question number 3. What is humanity being asked to consciously consent to right now, and what happens if we don't? So again, to rephrase that, what choice on the table right now, whether people see it or not? We're going to tell you this is also been addressed in the previous channel. The choice is, what do you want to believe in? Do you want to believe in you? Or do you want to believe in everything outside of you? Now, you can believe in both. But if you want to say there is a choice, the choice is what? The choice is that you're going to allow those external information to guide and grow you in a way that isn't in alignment with you. Or you're going to choose the path where you learn the alignment inside of you without the external information dictating how you're supposed to feel and what you're supposed to believe in. Now, we call that a choice, but it's going to continue to shift and evolve, simply meaning that at some point you're going to be tired. You're going to be tired of trying to keep up with all the information being flooded into your field by your choice, by the way. And when you make that choice to turn that off, recalibrate, and identify who you really are or what you really are, you could then go back to that information with call it a hardened field of discernment, where you are simply trying to understand how that information may or may not impact you. So if you were to be said, are you given a choice right now? We wouldn't say the choices right now. We'll simply say there are choices in front of you, where if you want to grow into what you are, you have to turn off everything out there. When you turn off everything out there, remember, you are then raising your frequency. When you raise that frequency, everything out there changes. The information you receive is of a higher vibrational understanding or inner standing. Everything begins to shift for you. So we'll simply say that would be a choice if you chose it or not. But the reality is, once again, the entire collective shifting and changing, and a lot of things going on out there. So again, we don't actually talk about the future. We don't talk about what's coming this year. We don't talk about what's coming in the next few years, because the reality is, again, we love that word. You can pick and choose and tune any timeline you want. You can grab any YouTube channel out there. They'll tell you what's going to happen in 2026, and you're going to agree with them or you're not going to agree with them. And if you don't agree with them, you're going to go to the next YouTube channel and look for that person to see if you agree with. That's wonderful. We're not in that game. We are in the game, to use that fun word, of changing you in the now. The right now. It's not words. As we channel, as we speak, the frequencies coming through the words and the light language is shifting your energetic field. And many of you on the replays, on the lives, will notice you feel a little different after and during these calls. A little tingly, a little lighter, a little shift, sometimes a little emotional. This isn't just words. You are being shifted, but you're being shifted in a way that is in alignment with you, your team, your source, your higher self, and your oversoul, if you will. Nothing is being done against your will. We don't play that game either. This is a time of action. And even listening to this is the action you're taking. Okay. All right. Open my eyes again. Where are we at? All right. Yeah, love is the answer on all levels. So, Angelica, I see love differently. I see love as a frequency, right? It's a higher vibrational frequency in all of the frequencies. And there's things above love, right? But the point is love is a word that the humans use, and the team tells me the word love isn't necessarily used by other species. They look at the frequency bands, right? So again, moving up in your ascension, doing your work, raising your vibrational energy brings you into what we would call the frequency of love. So you're accurate. I just see it a little different, right? So give me a second here. So any tips for a fellow channel that is feeling the pull to start sharing transmissions? Yeah, do it, right? Surround yourself with the community that believes in you, trusts you, and supports you first, right? The last thing you want to do is get in front of an audience, right? And have that negative Nancy is what we used to call it back in the day, right? Out there, chuckling you, right? You don't want that. You want other people who understand energy and frequencies, perhaps other channelers that can help you say, listen, if you ground first, if you visualize this, you can bring the energies in deeper, right? If you take a few more minutes, it can come out first. So obviously you need to find your peers, the ones that are going to support you. Now, there's a phrase in business I always do. You're going to love this. I always hire people smarter than me. No joke. I want to be the least qualified person in the room. Period. Right? The same thing with your gifts. When you want to up level defined by you, when you want to up level, you put people around you that have those things that you're trying to achieve, right? So they can bring you into more harmony with a lot more speed and efficiency. So your tribe doesn't have to be the block down the street, right? It can be all over the internet now, which was a beautiful thing. So I hope that made sense. But your tribe's going to help you, right? And another thing with regards to tribes, they ebb and flow. Don't think because you found a person out there to help you with your gift of channeling in this particular question, they're going to be with you the rest of your life. They may only be there a week, a month, a year. Remember, ebb and flow. Everybody's frequency is changing. Recognize it's just part of the process. It's not a breakup, right? It's an uplift. Time to get the next thing. So awesome. Okay. We're going to do some activations here real quick. So one of the things I do like to do is just kind of clear your field. That's the first thing we're going to do. So again, nothing you need to do. I need some water though, for sure. Okay. And I've already bubbled you guys, but you can visualize that bubble around you. Shala balero tariora calere de shidati calore 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 calere shidati calore 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 che shile tari orto ora mareora cara parete ariaroto ora shiro toro calere kama malare ala tara no shiro to con ki at calo tower tower you can open them up but ariaroto shiro kala malero calere che shieti na tao all I'm doing is just pulling energy out of your field that's distortions, static in the air, if you will. But ariaroto shiro Kushikoro Malero Carrier Shitia, Tarama Barrier Carrier, Tariaro, Corrodishino to Corbadio, can you schedule in a Barriero to Cabia? Camalere Tariaro to Rishio to Corrodor, Shidacado, Camalero, Tariano, Corrodishio to Cabadian, Malero, and Schedule Cabadian, Camalero, that is seal their field. Pariaro, we just want to get rid of any holes or information leakage. I call it energy information. Pariaro Correshio to Malero, Rotori, Camalero, Tario, Rishio to Malero, Camalero, Corrishia. There's a big hole in the top of the field. Open that up. There's more energy that wants to be released. Shikore shirata, makore shiratina shinata, shiramalero toyata shana mamaleria, rotoriotina valeria, rotaroto, uriarati liare shirati, kileriar tariara tor shiro torro corienta, mambakio shinata, makuru rotoriata. So in last night's event, there was a request that I actually want to extend into today because I didn't get an opportunity last night. And it was a request for a womb clearing. Okay. Now, I had done this before in Orange County back in December for the Awaken Magazine Expo, right? And it was quite profound for quite a few people. So I'm going to do that today. And for you guys out there, sorry, be patient. Tao katia tao. Leria mamaleria retari eratori era shiri turido kalama leria or shiruto shara kalema caro tao kilia ma leria oratori shirati kilera mapalo oratori nikileria arata alero tori ero shirata kale eratori nikariera conada cariara toriato shara kiri to shinato con no corriere camalere che dieta kama banana calero corriere 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 kere mamale ariaro tori shiruto ro calero camalere manana malaria oratori shinata Narama malo, riartare, artire, scire te caloro coro de conoscere un barioto, tu non mi pacchile rana correre cascoro correre pacchile caro to come l'erto, tariare scire camere, o riare, the angels are here. Poi a chi è all'ariaro, toriare, scire te calama malera, maleriare, tiri, scire ti, con una valeriale, tariare, scire ti, lire taccalere, to corno corre to calmalero, con un barioto, o rioro cariare, ti scire to corro de carabere, carriere, che di scire te cariate, come calamalerto. Pakili tari arashido shao tira mama kila la palero taro roshiro to kamara karo ta kau kushilieta mapokore to shikau kin me mele tere ta taro ta to shido to moko pa kukiro to shido te mo papa au ka ba shi ko kau ki yukio roto kau meleria roshiki kin tere aroto. Okay, that was pretty cool for me. I don't often get visuals, right? But when I do, it's wonderful. And I don't often get physical sensations in the vessel as it's come to the hollow bone. But for that one, I absolutely did. Absolutely did. Yeah. So drop in the channel or drop in the chat, right? You know, if you had an experience, let the world know. I'm curious, right? I'm always curious. I don't need validation to do my job, but I absolutely love hearing how it affects people. That really does kind of, you know, poke my button in such a happy way. Such a happy way. I do want to mention that this Sunday, I have my love potion number 9. And no, it's not a magic spell. I had somebody put that in chat the other day. It literally is shifting and changing your field so that you can embody the frequency of love across all the different layers of you. It's a 2-hour event. We'll pop the link in there as well. But there's a $50 discount right now. Like, it's a big deal. Like, we don't normally do discounts, but you know, it's the season of love. So let's give a little to you guys right now. Yeah, so bawling your eyes out. I actually pulled a lot of trauma out of the sacral as well. Your root chakra feels hot. Yeah, absolutely, right? When that happens, the healing frequencies will actually shift and change. I did something on a gentleman the other day, and within like 60 seconds, he was sweating profusely over his body as I worked on his nervous system, right? So that was definitely different. Yeah, you're bawling. Yeah. So you have a headache. The headache that you're getting is the intensity of the energy. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of calm everybody's energy down out of the head. You don't have to feel that. So hold on a moment. Let's just calm that down for you. Like I said, the energy that's being delivered to me is beginning quite intense. The dizziness, the headaches, the body shifts, right? These are all signs of healing, but the team's like, hey, we're gonna give it to you. Okay, so that headache should definitely, for everyone, right, should start calming down. The next thing I want to do for everyone, right, because it actually showed up in the chat room a lot, is your center pillar. I want to clear that and amplify it, right? Which is going to bring in more communication with your team. Now, listen, the 5D chakra event, that's the full Monty, right? It'll be up on the website for replay here before the end of the day. Okay, so hold on a second here. Moliera Kashiro to Goro Karashiro to Kamalaka and Kishka Banera entering the crown. But Karashiro to Cormaliero de Rio Cormaliero Chico de Manero Cormaliero Chico de Corretore to Corroco Chico de Manero Calero Chico Manero Cormaliero Cormaliero Sharabanero Malaria Shikariar in the root, Prishariar Shiro Turku, Shiriar Malaria, Cortakili, Ritariar Kirish, Shirama Malaria Shiro, Muria Sego, Porio Shikariaro to Rabaniero Chico, Kachkaro to Kurishko the shoulder. But Yar Cormalera, Caria, Calera, Caricia, Tariana, Calero, Corrojor, Corma Malaria, Torres, Kurto, Kurishko, Never much to the Chico, Marca, the heart. But you are Toria Mamalera, Calearia, Torre, Nore, Tierra, Maria, Cariato, Lelia, Euro, Manero, Cariaro, Torre, Tegina, Caria, Chico, the throat. Maricus to Gramara, Amalera, the Rishi, Natari, and the Corapacor to look at the Cariara, Calera, Calero, Carabia, to Corich, then I take the Carriet to Cor to Cormatic, Camalera, Camarero, but it's good to Cartia. Moriarto, Rishito, Rotariero, Carriatoria, Cortakirish, Carriero, Coronale, Tariara, Shiro to Cormariato, one more pass. Mariara Toriara, Tishit to Kalema Bacariato, or Shariara, Torres, Corabacero, Caraballero, Carmelero, Shito, Cormalero, Corabalical, Bandamo, Pariara, Toriara, Corashita, Oriarto, Mariarto. Okay, folks, you're going to want some water after that one. Okay. That was just, what was that, a minute or two? There's an hour of that in the 5D chakra. How's everyone feeling after that? I just want to check everyone's happiness and well-being, if you will. Making sure you're okay. That moved a lot, yeah. It was so physical, yeah. Right? Life is good. Just as a side note, again, lots of water, nature, grounding, salt water, baths. You may need that over the coming day or so, right? And for those of you that haven't had the experience with me, those different tones coming through the different speeds are the different divine tools that are coming down for who's ever in the audience or in replay. Okay, right? Remember, if you guys are having experiences, you need to share my name, right? Let your friends have those experiences. So there was another request that's been showing up in the chat quite a bit, right? And that's your nervous system. So let's calm that down, right? We channeled that a little bit earlier. This is just for calmness, support, and balance. And also to bring you down just a little bit for those of you that are experiencing that intensity. They're actually recoding your nervous system for that crystalline frequencies. So you're getting activations at the same time you're getting that. Okay. Thank you. Monero Cariana Kishuru Balera, Alora Kishuru Kinotica, Kama Cariato, Oratorio Shiratara, Medical Correshiko, and Malaria, Corriere Shirtaria, Calera, Taria, Correshito to Comedia, Coromero Taria, Torreshito to Corrocodici, Natana, and the and Mabaria, Taria, Correct, and Malaria, Diara Carishinato. Turn him around. Going down the spine. Okay. There you go. Yeah, your nervous system's running mad circles. Yeah, like a mad rabbit. Stomach clear, right? Have a question about my activated third eye. I'm not sure what the question was. A slight headache as well. The headache should go away, right? Third eye, there should be some thumping. You probably felt the sacred geometry. Some of you might have saw the sacred geometry going into the third eye. Everyone's a little different, right? A couple of things here. Yeah, and I do appreciate all the comments. So Amy from San Diego. Hi, Amy. I want to let you guys know, for those of you that, I love this, identify as a starseed. Let me tell you something. Every one of us are a starseed. There are so little of us that their first incarnation is a human, period. Starseed just means that you have energy from other planetary systems or species or races that you've incarnated on that are coming through your field because that's what you need at this particular time, or those around you need that frequency for their own ascension and process. Okay. So February 28th, again, candlelightofficial.com, you'll see the starseed activation. A lot of DNA things happening there. Now, somebody just said that, what if they don't feel anything? Does it still work? Well, again, I would say use your discernment filter. You can't look. Let me rephrase that. You cannot take the idea that you have to have a physical experience, an emotional release, a spiritual connect, and an awesome dream to say it's working for you. Learn the discernment. Now, for those that don't have the experience, often the egoic mind is blocking them because they're scared of the intensity. You have yuckies in you, which is something where you get it and you'll feel it for a moment and they'll take it away, right? Or you're beginning your journey as well. Like there's so much static, right, that the physical vessel's not feeling that shift, but it will. And it might be just titrated, right? So sometimes when I do activations, they don't actually feel it for 2 or 3 weeks later when there's a timing aspect involved. So just let it go. Don't put the idea that I have to have the tingles to know it's working, because that creates that belief system in you that creates more of a blockage, right? Telling the egoic mind, we don't need this, it doesn't work. If that's your discernment, that's fine. But I'm just answering the question, right? So yeah, the Starseed event. That's going to be fun. I'm actually really looking forward to that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be at the LA Conscious Life Expo with Elizabeth April, Bashar, so many others. JJ Brighton is another individual, right? So find me. I'm at booth 155. Okay. You guys are throwing things in the chat that you want me to work on. That's wonderful. We'll do that. But why don't we do it in person? Like, I'm not charging for my healing when I'm at the expo. I'm not there to make money. I'm there to share my gift and to bring awareness to what I'm doing, right? There are events you can attend. There are in-person events in Nashville, Tennessee you can go to where those are paid things, right? But the expo, that is me showing up for you guys. So if you're going to be there, come find me. And if you're not going to be there and you know somebody, come to swing by and say hi, right? I have a workshop. I have 2 workshops, a 45-minute workshop where I'm going to do this, right? And I'm going to call people on the audience and heal in the audience, do some channeling. I got a 90-minute one as well. And then on Monday post-conference, there's a 2.5 hour paid, very intensive event that's going to take place. So, all right, cool. So that's the things I wanted to talk about. I'm just going to pop over here in the chat and see what else we've got going on here. I can come over to France, but they got to have a reason, right? So if you can put the event together, well, then reach out to the support team, right? And they'll put you in touch with the right people to have that discussion. Okay. Pretty much anywhere I'm willing to travel, but it's got to be for the right reasons, the right audience, right? The right people, right? So there'll be a lot more in-person events for me later this year. I'm just getting checked. Everyone doing all right? No one's dizzy, passed out on the floor. Just making sure. Sometimes that energy can get intense before we get ready to take off here. I just want to make sure everyone's okay. And again, thank you, Instagram folks. I'm having a hard time with both chats. How do you get comfortable with light language and codes coming in and sharing with others? I feel amazing when I let it flow out of me, but having resistance to sharing it. Again, I think that's a confidence thing. Like I did in the beginning, right? I had fun with it, right? I say, listen, there's going to be a giggle factor. It's going to sound like I'm talking in tongues, but I'm not, because I don't have a religious background. I have no idea, right? I'm just going to have fun, right? And I often would work on animals. And no, I'm not working on animals, but I would. I see a limpy dog or something, right? I would set the intention verbally or internally. Let's work on clearing the thing, creating the distortion in the leg, and then allow light language to flow through, right? I plan on going all across the world. The whole globe is for me. I'm here for so many people. Like literally, my mission is epic in terms of millions and billions, and it's no joke. It's not the egoic thing. This is literally my job and what I do, and I show up at these times of massive ascensions to do the heavy lifting for so many people, right? What you're getting today, even in this transmission, might take even a year to clear, and it happens on the call. It happens in seconds, and that's my job. I literally say it's my job. This is how I treat it like a job, but a job I love, right? So will I be in Australia? Absolutely. I can't tell you when the alignment happens. Okay. Your bunny just jumped all of you when I mentioned animals. Can I work on your scoliosis? I work on scoliosis all the time. I'm not going to explain the scales effect of the energy system. I'm not here to teach. I am not here to teach. And you are not here to follow me. Let me explain that. I'm not a guru. I'm not your guru. I'll never be. Not supposed to be. I'm supposed to come in here, shift your field, so you can find those gurus and those people and that you resonate with. That's the whole job I have. Come in, give you an experience, remove the massive amount of stuff you've been working through, and let you ascend rapidly. Okay, so somebody asked about their scoliosis. Give me a second here. And by the way, everyone receives when I'm doing this, even if it's not topic specific, so don't go anywhere just yet. I'm just going to start grabbing some things out of the chat. That childhood trauma in there. Warped sense of personality, sorry. Just saying what comes through. Warped sense of your own personality. Your team needs to be cleaned. Clean means healed. Basically, your spirit teams also want a little of the frequency, and I'll go in there and work on them, and I just did. But I put the rod in, amethyst rod. Line that up. Open that side up. Line that up. Pariaro con Mashiruto, Oroto Corribere, Carishiro to Carmelero, Carmelera, Carishiro to Carama Baleara, Tariara, Shiro to Correro, Tario, Amara Malero, Torino, Calero, Carashiro, Tiriaro. There you go. I'll be in the UK when I get invited. You guys want me over there? Email my team. And then the team will pop the email address in there. But yeah, that's all it is. Have that conversation, have that dialogue. That's all it is. What else is going on here real quick? I can help with fear. We're actually going to probably do a large fear event, right? So again, stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe because fear is so deep-rooted in so many different angles, right? So we'll probably do a Wednesday night fear event. Now, fear of money, fear of people, fear of life, fear of everything will be covered in that, right? So you've done your addiction event a few times. Why is your chocolate addiction an all-time high? What am I missing? Thank you. We'll simply say that you actually haven't given up the addiction. Yes, you have the human aspect that wants to go through it, but the chocolate is actually you avoiding that trauma inside of you that needs to be released, It's almost the idea of the distraction taking place. You have the ability to shut that down anytime you choose. But you got to choose to do the work that comes along with it. And that is the channel message for you. Okay. Somebody's asking about high blood pressure. Remember, guys, I'm not a doctor in any capacity, way, shape, or form. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about the body. Seriously. But I can move the energy, creating whatever condition that is. And this is asking about blood pressure. They're draining some of those emotions out of you that are built up. Put it in your field. You're also working on some genetics. The whole cardio system, please. The message for you is to have trust in the process. Okay. I'll do a couple more here. Let me just go over here. Okay. So here's the thing, folks. I don't do one-on-one sessions. Okay. I don't have a lot of time. I did 700 or more in the last 6 months of last year, and my team has shut it down so I can focus on the library creation, which shows you how to do the work. Now, with that being said, I haven't completely thrown the baby out with the bathwater. Once a month, I do a direct support. Okay. It's on the website, Work with Ken, direct support. And it's a limited container of 25 people. And I'll work on your issues for 2 or 3 hours, whatever it takes. So visit the website. If you really want that connection, that's the only way that's going to happen at this particular time. Okay. So Ken, myself and my sisters all have the same tension in our right arms. Can you look into this? Yeah, I can do that. I see it too. Bring them up. Bubble. Oh, they're getting a little aggressive. They're not, you guys have some contracts that aren't happy. Pull them off behind the wall. I don't harm anything, by the way. I don't annihilate anything. I don't poke anything. I don't hurt anyone, anything, any energies. It's not my job. My job is just to give them another place to go, not in you. 5 contracts. You have magic. Tie your body, please. Reconciliation taking place. And thanked by someone. Seal their field. Close the portal behind them. Open them up. Pull out the responsible one. Clearing the cells of the body. This one's complicated. Sorry, guys, taking a little longer. You guys had a lot of things going on. Right arm. Distortion. Dissolve. Rebuild. Okay, so that was the right arm person, whoever that was. I'm not going to get into it. I can clear childhood trauma, but there's a lot of layers of childhood trauma. I would say for those of you asking to clear childhood trauma, sign up for the library creation, right? And I also believe there's a trauma event in the catalog. There are over 400 different things in the catalog on the website. You don't have to wait for me, right? You don't have to wait for me. It can work for anyone. Someone's asking if what I just did is for the sisters. It can work for anyone. It can work for anyone. Seriously. So the way this works with light language, even though I say a thing and do a thing, your codes, who's ever listening for whatever issue, are coming through regardless of the topic. Of course, I'm working on that particular person. Okay. I'm going to do one more thing here. Somebody's got a knee issue. You'd had a full knee replaced, won't bend a full degree. I don't know what knee it is. Actually, I do. Hold on. Good morning, dissolve. Distortions, rebuild, okay, cool. All right, folks. The best I can say, use for this. When you have these ailments, show up for yourself. And what I mean by that is there's so much free stuff I do in the social media. All right, there's codes being dropped all the time, just like this YouTube live. The more you show up, the more your codes that you get from your team through this vessel. And when you're ready, show up my events. Go to the catalog. I do distant healing every Monday, right? I have the entire program laid out. It's just how much energy and effort are you willing to put into yourself? And if it's free, it's wonderful. My job is to help everyone across the entire spectrum. But when you're ready to really step into it, I'm here for everyone. Okay. I have one more thing I'm going to do. I need to do. I got a lot of people asking about the sciatic, or at least maybe that's the same person over and over. So just give me a minute here, and then I'm going to be going. Thank you, everyone. So hold on. And then again, please share. It means a lot to me to share. Pulling the programming out of despair of all things. The other side, please open that wider. Weaving together. Dissolve. Open the spaces between the spaces. Lower. Your higher, your ego mind, just shut that down. Hold on. That will calm down for you. All right, everyone. Much love. It's almost been an hour. Thank you, Instagram folks. And we'll see you all later. Bye-bye.